Hey, this is Eli Bates. I'm going to make a training video for you guys for the new Lowrance HCS Gen 2 Touch series. This is for all the Lowrance Pro staffers and Lowrance sales associates to teach you the key features of the Lowrance HCS Gen 2 Touch units, what we need those associates to know in the store to sell these products, the key questions and the key answers that those consumers are going to be asking about these units. Some of the nice features on these units I'll try to cover. So right here on my display, I got a HCS Gen 2 Touch 7 and HCS Gen 2 Touch 12. This is a new family. This is a new flagship family for Lowrance. These are not replacing the Gen 2 keypad units. This is in addition to the HCS Gen 2 keypads. These are the Touch series. It's a 3-part series. It's got the 7-inch unit, a 9-inch unit, and a 12-inch unit. First thing you're going to notice is the screen dimensions on these. These are 16 by 9. These are widescreen units. Every other Lowrance unit you've ever seen is either square or it's 4 by 3, more of a square dimension on the screen. These are 16 by 9. What you'll see with 16 by 9, in fact these are touchscreen units, with this 16 by 9 screen and the fact that these are a touch interface, we're able to do a lot nicer job on the ratios of screen to plastic. You can see on this 12 here, the screen to plastic ratio is very small. What that lets us do is, because it's a touch, we don't have the big piece of plastic over here that houses the keys. So by having all this big screen, we're able to bring the screen out to the very edge without very many buttons on the side. So a 12-inch unit, this is a 12.1-inch screen, the biggest one that Lowrance has ever made. But this outside dimension is not much bigger than HCS 10 Gen 2. So you think a 12-inch screen is going to be this big, overwhelming screen, but it's really not, because it has the very concise dimensions. It's not much bigger than the 10-inch unit. Another thing I want to show that people are going to ask about is something that Lowrance always tries to do a good job on, making it easy for those upsells and for upgrades of people with Lowrance units. We always try to make it very easy to upgrade from one Lowrance unit to another. This is the back of the HCS Gen 2 Touch 7-inch unit. If you know Lowrance units, you recognize all of these connectors. This is our 5-pin yellow Ethernet connector, the same Ethernet connector we've always used 5 years plus. That is our standard NEMA 2000 connector. We've used that 5 years plus. That is the industry standard NEMA 2000 connector. Every other company that does NEMA 2000 has this connector available. That is our standard transducer connector, the blue transducer connector, same one we've used for 10 years plus. This is our standard blue power connector, same one we've used for 10 years plus. So all those connectors are the same. This connector right here is StructureScan. This is the StructureScan transducer. The StructureScan LSS2 transducer plugs right into the back of this unit. You don't have to have the StructureScan box anymore, because that StructureScan transducer will plug right in. That means there are four sonar receivers built into this unit. There's one is the broadband 2D sonar, the award-winning broadband sonar technology, best sonar technology in the market. And then it has all 3 channels, left, right, and down, of the StructureScan sonar built into this unit. There's a lot of sonar going on in this unit. Once they plug sonar in, once they have the StructureScan plugged in, they will be able to feed out through Ethernet that StructureScan data and regular sonar data to other units. And so this actually does replace the LSS2 box by feeding out to Gen 1s, Gen 2s, other touch units through Ethernet StructureScan data. One of the things that you would see different on the HCS, the 7 touches versus the 9s and the 12s, there's only a couple differences, but one of them is the Ethernet connector. The 7-inch unit has an Ethernet connector, and it outputs sonar data, outputs the StructureScan data. But the 7 or the 9s and the 12 have 2 Ethernet connectors in the back. If we look in the back of that 12-inch unit right there, we'd see 2 Ethernet connectors. That's very nice, because at that point you can connect 2 devices to the back of that unit without going through an expansion port, or you can daisy chain units so you don't have to add that expansion port. It makes it easier to expand. So the 7 does have a Ethernet connector, but only has 1. Let's look at the interface. So I'm going to do most of the demonstration on this 12-inch unit just for the dimensions. It's nice to show. Alright, first thing we wanted to do we benchmarked ourselves very high. We wanted, it's a touch interface product, but we wanted an instantaneous feedback. When you touch the screen, we want it to beep, we want it to move, we want it to do something to acknowledge that touch immediately. Because we've all seen poorly executed touch devices where you touch it and nothing happens, and then you touch it a couple other times, and all of a sudden it catches up, and you just hit something that you didn't mean to because it wasn't there on the screen. So you're going to get a very fast processor to do this. Very fast processor also means our draw speeds are very fast or very clean. These maps that we're looking at here is actually the sample that's built in of Navionics Platinum Plus data around San Francisco in this unit. It's very high detail mapping data, a lot of high detail, and you can see I can't outrun this unit. You can be going down the water and running high detail maps at 70 miles an hour, and you're not going to pull out that white screen. It's going to stay caught up. That draw speed is going to be fast enough to keep up with you because it is a faster processor. That touchscreen interface lets us do a lot of nice things. Lets us create a great user experience, a great user interface. One of the things that we build a lot of we put a lot of thought, a lot of innovation into the touch interface and the things we can do with it. One of the things I like to show off the most is how to build a route. So building a route is a nice feature with touch. So I can bring the cursor out, I go to my menu here, and I say new route. And now I just tap the screen, and wherever I tap the screen in that zigzag pattern, it's going to build that route very quickly, very easily. So it's very easy, very fast to build that route. Another innovative item that we've done with our touch interface, we overcame the fact that when you touch something, you're covering up, you can't see underneath your own finger. So to overcome that, we've actually put a feature in these where if you touch and hold, now it'll bring up that little bubble up above my finger and the cursor up above my finger, where I can very easily and very precisely know where that cursor falls. So it's a nice interface that works in every screen. I can put that, building a route, I can put that cursor in between two route points, and now I can adjust that route without having to edit back, without having to delete it or delete back to that point. I can add another point within the route. Save that. I can even go, let's bring up the little cursor again. If I go highlight one of my existing route points, I can remove it while still editing, and it pops it out of the route and makes the route go around that point. It makes a very quick interface, very nice way to use the touch interface. Kind of just shows you some of the innovation that we've done with that touch interface. I'm going to cancel that, get it over here. Alright, let me show you something about the new interface, the new menu structure. This operating system, it is the same exact operating system that was done for HCS Gen 1, HCS Gen 2, same operating system in HCS Gen 2 Touch. But it's been retooled for touch interface. So if I hit our menu button up here, you can see now our new main menu. You can see it's now much more graphical, it's more intuitive, it's bigger buttons for touch, it's been retooled for touch interface. When I hit the menu button, I get this menu pops up. These buttons in the middle are my quick access to a full screen. If I tap one of these, I get a full screen of whatever I tap. Full screen chart, full screen structure, full screen of whatever I tap is what I'm going to get. Over here on the right, I get these split screens. You see out of the factory, I get these 5 options over here. Out of the factory, 4 of them are already set up for us. We can edit those, but these are pre-set up. So I can just tap here and get a split between sonar, and structure. I can tap here and get a split between mapping, sonar, and structure. So those are set up for you. You can see here at the bottom there's a blank one. If I tap that, now it shows me the building page, how we actually can build a new page and set up a new page. It's very intuitive and pretty fun to show off how to build these pages, because all I have to do is click and drag over here to split and display whatever data I want. So if I want to do a 4-screen split, which by the way 4-screen is available all the way down to the 7, I can do a 4-screen split and very easily, intuitively set that up. I can drag these around, pull this one off and throw in another structure. So it's very easy. You can see all I'm doing is dragging these around to orient them the way I want. So that's a 4-screen split. If I pull one of those off, now I'm on 3. With this widescreen interface, we now give you a few new options on how you can split the screen. You can see this pane preview over here. If I tap that, traditionally what we've always had is a large screen on the left and 2 small ones on the right. We can now do 2 small ones on the top and 1 long one on the bottom. This is great for sonar on the bottom because you get this big, long sonar history all across the bottom of your screen. You can see how you would use this in the field and make it a useful feature for you. You could also now do a 3-way vertical split. We got three windows all done vertically. If we pull another one of these out, now we're down to 2. Are you going to lock up on there? Now we go down to 2 units, and now we've always done the vertical split where you have a left and right window, but we now do a horizontal over and under split where we can have 2 screens on top of each other, nice long sonar histories or whatever data you want to have on there. So if I save this, now at the bottom of the screen, graphically, very intuitively, where this was a blank box, now it's vertical split, sonar, and structure. So if I tap it, got sonar and structure. So very nice interface, very quick way to show that data. If I hit this more button down here, you see I got 5 more splits. So we've given you 10 ways, quick accesses to split that screen. A nice feature we've put in is if you're going down the water and you can't use the touch screen as quickly, you can actually use this menu button, and I can just keep hitting this menu button, and you see the little timer pops out. If I let the timer expire on one of these buttons, so I'll let the timer go out, it's going to show me that screen. And that's true even if I had these other ones built over here. If I built another page over here, if I start hitting this menu button, it's going to go over here too. So up to 10 pages I can easily cycle through by pressing one button without having to use the screen or having to take my hand off that one button. Very quick to use. Alright, back on the actual pages themselves, you can see this big ribbon of buttons on the side. This is a touch interface. You need these buttons on the side, but you don't want to see them all the time. They take up a lot of real estate. So we've actually taken advantage of the fact that we're all pretty well trained on using touch product and clicking and dragging. To get rid of that, you can just simply click it and pull it off to the side and it'll disappear. If I need it back, I can hit the menu back up here and it'll come back. To get rid of it, just push it off to the side. So one thing to keep note of is, just like your traditional Lowrance products, this orange box around the structure data right here, that means my menus are going to be structure menus. So right here, these are structure menus. If I tap the sonar, now that box moved up here, and now my menus are now sonar menus. So if I wanted to change that range right there from 100 to auto, I can tap that and then pull that down and then tap auto. And now we just set that to auto. Another thing to keep in mind is you see these lines at the top of this menu. That means there's more menu items up above. If I want to see those, I simply click and drag, pull down, and now I get these other menu options, which are going to be more like your page options. So things like your splits, adjust splits. So if I wanted more sonar and less structure, I can hit adjust splits, and now I got more sonar and less structure. Pull that off, got a nice clean view. Alright, one other feature that is unique to the 9s and 12 that's not included in the 7s is this new option for video. This is a new feature for Lowrance. We've never had the ability to do video before. Video is enabled by an accessory cable. It doesn't come with the unit. You have to buy a cable separately. It comes in through the power connector, but it's an accessory cable. And it actually brings out a standard RCA connector. So standard RCA, so this could be a RCA camera, this could be your underwater camera, this could be the engine room camera, that could be any RCA feed. So where you're going to see people use this is with their underwater cameras, their backup cameras. I even tell people they can use, there's a guy with the camera. I even tell people that they can use this, they can connect up their DVD player so that they can be fishing while their kids watch DVDs and they get to go fishing longer. And this video input is just another input. So I can actually build a new page and literally I can be fishing while my kids are over there watching cartoons because I can split this. So I can say, okay, let's do it like this. So save, so I can do video just split with other data. And now, this could be down here watching cartoons so I can fish and know where I'm going on the GPS. That could be your engine room, that could be your night camera, that could be the guy to stay awake all night to be at the helm. So that video input is a new feature for us for Lowrance, and it's available in the 9s and the 12, not available in the 7. So again, this is built off of the HDS operating system. So guys that know how to use an HDS, that can make an HDS sing and dance, can spend literally 15 minutes with this and be able to show it off, know those features, know where they're at. And part of that reason is because we incorporated a lot of the same nomenclature, the same icons that's in a HDS are in this unit. So the settings, the files, the ties, all those features are the same features you see in an HDS, and they have the same icon. So guys know where to find those, what he's going to find when he hits the buttons, what he's going to see. So it makes a very nice interface, very easy to use. The units do have mapping built in. There are no base map units. They all will have Insight mapping built in. So you won't see a base map unit. They do, of course, handle Navionics up to Platinum Plus, so the entire line of Navionics. They also handle our Insight Pro cards, our Insight HD cards, all the cards map cards that you'd be able to use with an HDS. We'll use it here. One of the other differences you'll see between the 7 and the 9s and 12s is the SD cards. The 7 has a single SD card slot. The 9s and 12s have dual SD card slots. All the units they're all full SD card slots, and they're all high capacity SD card slots. So you can put that 32 gigabyte card in there, and you're going to be just fine. But with the 9s and 12s, you get 2 cards. With the 7s, you get a single. They have the same features that you're going to get in a HDS when you add the structure scan. So your structure map is enabled as soon as you plug in that unit. You can overlay your structure data. They all have the ability to do the track back feature, so you still get the ability to track back in your sonar history and save waypoints. So all those features are there. They can do radar. They can do your NEMA 2000 engine interfacing. They can do all those features that your HDS can do, just with a nice touch interface, bigger screen. All the units have the internal GPS antenna built in, just like on the HDS Gen 1 and 2. The antenna is right here. It's going to be external. Even when it's flush mounted, it's external. It's going to be able to lock on. It's a great internal GPS antenna. It's a 1 Hz antenna, industry standard. They all have NEMA 2000, so they have the ability to do external GPS antennas, like the LGC 4000. It's not going to be your guy. The reason that a guy buys an LGC 4000 isn't because this won't work, because this will work even in under a radar arch, under a hard top, even in a wheelhouse. This is going to work. The reason a guy would buy an LGC 4000 is if it's a high-end fisherman and he wanted his GPS data to come directly from above his transducers, not from the unit, but right from where the sonar data came from. So they all have that option, but they all have the internal GPS antenna built in. See if I miss anything. So I encourage all you guys to get out to your stores, go visit with associates, show them these units, show them these features, make sure they know about these features, make sure they know the differences between the 7s and 9s and 12s, make sure they're able to, make sure they go there and push buttons. If they can use an HDS, and if they're comfortable with all their touchscreen devices in their pocket, they're going to be able to make these sing and dance very quickly. Some nice things to show off. Nice way, because it's a touchscreen product, the ability to do overlay data. It's very nice because you can do, let's see, it's easy to do features with a touchscreen. So if I did right now I just did edit overlay. So if I go change that or configure that for larger and make it analog, I just added RP into my screen, and I could easily click and move that around the screen. It's a nice interface to do overlay data. I think that's all I can think of. Think anything else?
Sounds good to me.
Anything I didn't cover?
You did.
Make sure. So I've been using a combination of the buttons. So here on the right, we got the rocker switches for zoom in, zoom out. We also got the quick access for add a waypoint. We also have the zoom in, zoom out keys on the screen. You can also save a waypoint from the screen as well. One nice thing about the having the big touchscreen interface is things like this. Being able to do a full QWERTY keyboard on the screen is very quick, very easy to enter waypoints, enter names. Another nice feature I want to show you real quick is the new waypoint saving feature. So if I go to my files and waypoints, and I want to save my waypoints. All the other HCS products in the past, when you export your waypoints, you're exporting every waypoint in the entire unit. Now you have that option here, but now you also have this export region feature. If I hit export region, now I can zoom out and it gives you two little crosshairs that you can make a encircling box. What that's going to do, I can drag this box around a bay, around an entire lake, around a region, and when I hit export, it's only going to export the waypoints in that region. So you can start saving waypoints that are just at the lake that you want it to be. You can start sending your buddies just the waypoints that you want them to have, not all your waypoints. So it's a nice feature that is built into all these units. These units will also have new demo modes. So when they're sitting on the store shelf in retail space and dealers and retailers, the new demo reel and the new demo file will be expanded and easier. They'll sell themselves better than the units in the past have. So the dealer's going to like that. So, now that's all I got.